Jumbo everyone, and as the Ghanaians say, Wezel, or welcome. William and Jillian and I had a wonderful adventure in Animal Kingdom during my birthday trip. We began the day with Kilimanjaro Safari, the 110-acre animal adventure that is part of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. We arrived early, the animals were active, and the lions were out.
I can't stop every single animal out there on the reserve, and trust me when I say they will not be stopping just for us. Also, please secure all of your loose articles, hats, glasses, sunglasses, cell phones, and mouse ears, and if you're a child, I can't stop to check at any point to retrieve anything that may fall off, but I will do my absolute best to make sure that it all gets back to you. Just waiting on that final all clear for the warden. It looks like we got it, so now we can head into the reserve. And we are going to start our safari here in the little Ituri Forest, which is home to some of Africa's more shy and reclusive animals. Now, the animals within the forest also have really great camouflaging capabilities, so they are very good at hiding when they want to. Now, over to your right, up at the top of that hill, is a dark brown animal with black and white stripes on its legs. That is the Okapi. Now, the Okapi is often mistaken for a zebra because of those black and white stripes. However, those two animals aren't even related. The Okapi's only relative is the giraffe. Not only do the Okapi and the giraffe have the same skull structure, but they also have the same very long and sticky prehensile tongue.
Really cool.
Now, prehensile does mean like our hands or like our fingers. So the Okapi and the giraffe can actually wrap their tongue around a branch, just like we can wrap our fingers around a hairbrush or a pencil. Now, kind of migrating through the forest right now, there's a herd of dark orangey brown animals. These are bongos. Yes, bongo like the drum. Now, bongos are also known as the ghosts of the forest. They're very shy, very rarely seen. Now, you may notice that these bongos' horns are kind of angled or sloped backwards. That does allow them to run through tall grasses and very large bushes without getting all tangled up, so they get away from their predators much easier and much faster. Now, at the top of the hill to your right, there's a big black and white bird up there. That is the saddle-billed stork, which does get its name for the yellow saddle shape on its bill. The saddle-billed stork also has a wingspan of about 9 feet, so its wings are completely stretched out and measured from tip to tip. It's about the same length as the benches you guys are sitting on here in the truck. To your right, also coming up on your left-hand side, lighter brown animals are the female greater kudu. I know that she's a female because she doesn't have any horns. Only male greater kudu have horns. Now, all greater kudu have very large, kind of cup-shaped ears, which do allow them to hear over long distances. Now, they can actually rely on their hearing more than their sight to be aware of and even get away from their predators. The greater kudu can hear up to 8 miles away, so their hearing is very crucial to them getting away from their predators. Alright, friends, we're going to make our way out of the little Ituri Forest, and I'm going to take a quick little trip around the Safi River. Hopefully, as we're going around the Safi River, we can find some interesting aquatic animals. Alright, so I'm coming up on your right-hand side by these logs. They're kind of poking out of the water. I see the heads of 2 Nile hippopotamuses down there. Now, the Nile hippopotamus can stay fully submerged under the water for about 8 minutes at a time. You may notice that their eyes, ears, and nostrils are located on the top of their head, and that does allow them to still hear, breathe, and see while they submerge the rest of their body. Now, over to your left, that is a bloat of hippos. Bloat, B-L-O-A-T, is the group name for the Nile hippopotamus. Now, those hippos do have very sensitive skin, so they try to stay in the water in direct sunlight as much as possible throughout the day. Typically, they'll only leave their aquatic territories to go feed and actually walk 6 miles to go find food. And then when they're done eating, walk those 6 miles right back. Now, the big white birds hanging out on the islands are the pink-backed pelicans. Pink-backed pelicans get their name for the very pretty pink color that shows up on their backs during mating seasons. Now, those pink-backed pelicans are actually only one of 8 remaining pelican species left on the planet. Over to your left, if you look down, you'll see some Nile crocodiles. Now, the Nile crocodiles are the only cold-blooded animals here on the reserve, but they're also ectothermic animals, which means that they can use their environment to help them regulate their body temperature. In other words, if the Nile crocodile goes a little bit too hot during the day, they'll just slip into the river or watering hole to help cool down. Now, those crocs can also gape their mouths. That's when they have their mouths sitting wide open in effort to release some extra body heat throughout the day. The Nile crocodiles can grow to about 16 feet long, so they can be as long as a giraffe is tall. Now, before we head into the savannah, we'll hopefully spot a few giraffes out there. So coming around this bend, if you look over to your right, you see that very large tree that kind of looks like it's upside down. That is the Baobab tree. Now, the Baobab tree is not upside down, but it can store thousands of gallons of water in its trunk at one time, which does allow it to remain leafless about 9 out of 12 months of the year, giving it its nickname, the upside down tree. Alright friends, we are entering the savannah, or the grasslands part of the reserve, which is home to many of Africa's more recognizable animals, like wildebeest and zebras, and it looks like there's a few giraffes over here already. Now, over to your right, it looks like kind of scattered around the savannah, there's a whole tower of giraffes roaming around. Giraffes are one of the world's tallest animals, reaching heights of about 16 to 20 feet tall. Now, when giraffes are born, they're typically born between 3 and 6 feet tall, and they have a 6-foot drop to the ground. Their height is what gives them their group or their herd name tower. Not only do they tower over us, but they tower over pretty much every other animal on the planet.
Drop just like a newborn baby giraffe.
Of this savannah area, there is a beautiful animal with very long horns, and that is the Ankole cattle. Now, the Ankole cattle is also known as the Watusi cattle. Their horns can grow to about 3 to 4 feet long, and even though those horns may appear to be very heavy, they're actually not. Inside of them is a honeycomb-like structure that helps them to regulate their blood flow and their body heat. Now, coming up on your left-hand side in this rock den, I do see a pack of painted dogs resting. Now, painted dogs do get their name for the coloration on their coat. It kind of looks like paint splatter or paint splotches. Now, each pattern is completely unique to each dog, and that is how they can identify each other within the pack. Painted dogs hunt and live in a pack, and they actually have an 80% success rate while hunting, which is one of the highest of any other animals out here on the savannah. Over to your left, those dark brown antelope lying down just by the termite mounds are the sable antelope, and the sable antelope are the official emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. The sable antelope are a symbol of bravery and will actually protect their herd from predators by laying down on their knees and pointing their horns towards whatever is attacking them, instead of running away from their potential predators. Now, over to your left is the rest of that herd of Ankole cattle. Now, the Ankole cattle is actually not a food source. They're a symbol of wealth or a form of currency. So the more Ankole cattle you have, the wealthier you are, and that does make the cattle the only domesticated animal here on the reserve. Now, over to your left, I do see part of that dazzle of Hartman's mountain zebras. Now, the Hartman's mountain zebras are a little bit smaller than some other zebras we may know and see across the globe. You may notice that their black and white stripe pattern doesn't go all the way around their body, it does kind of stop right above their stomach. Now, because they're mountain zebras, their hooves are a little bit larger and slightly pointed, which does help them when they're climbing up mountains and rocky hillsides. Now, that smaller zebra over there is a juvenile, but it already has its adult legs. When zebras are born, they are born with fully grown adult legs. Now, it looks like some more of that tower of giraffes has migrated over to this arid savanna on your right. Now, the giraffes that are here on the reserve are the Maasai Drafts. They are named after the Maasai people or the Maasai tribe. The easiest way to identify them as Maasai Drafts is by looking at the spots on their coats. So their spots are kind of jagged and do sort of resemble puzzle pieces. I did mention earlier that the Okapi and the giraffe are related. They have that same skull structure and the same prehensile tongue. Now, for the giraffes, that tongue can be anywhere from 7 to 20 inches long, so it's very useful to try to reach leaves at the tops of tall trees. Now, coming up on your right, all up along this hillside, there are two different herds of animals over here. So kind of a little bit closer to the top of that hill, there's a very cute little tan antelope. Those are the Springbok. Now the Springbok are actually the smallest antelope here on the reserve. But the word Springbok is an Afrikaans word that translates to jumping antelope. Now the Springbok can jump about 6 feet straight up into the air and 13 feet forward. Just to give you guys kind of a frame of reference, you're sitting about 6 feet off the ground right now in the truck. Now the herd of gray animals all up along that hillside are wildebeests. Wildebeests do make one of the largest annual migrations. About 1.5 million of them will migrate or travel every single year between 500 and 1,000 miles from one savanna to another, just searching for new grasses to graze on. Now the word wildebeest is an Afrikaans word that translates to wild beast, but they are also referred to as gnu's, spelled G-N-U, for the high-pitched vocalizations that they can sometimes make. Just on the other side of these tall grasses, I do see some African elephants over there. I'm going to try and pull around this watering hole a little bit so everyone can catch a glimpse of their cute little faces. If you look over to your left up on those rocks, there is a troop of mandrills up there as well. Mandrills are one of the world's largest species of monkey, and they can reach weights in the hundreds of pounds. Now the mandrills are very easy to identify by their bright blue and red markings they have on their faces and their bottoms. Now if you look over those African elephants to your right, you see them kind of moving their ears back and forth. That's actually how elephants can cool down their bodies. Now there's a lot of blood vessels located in the ears for the elephants, so when they move their ears back and forth or have them fanned out, they can cool down their whole bodies about 15 degrees. Now 15 degrees probably doesn't sound like a lot, but on the days where it's like over 100 degrees outside, that 15 degree decrease can make a huge difference throughout the day. Now African elephants actually live in a matriarchal society, which means that the herds of elephants are usually composed of the adult females and any young that they may have. Now they're typically led by the eldest female or the matriarch. The adult male elephants are also called bulls, and they live more of a solitary life. So the males or the bulls join the herds usually during mating seasons, but most of their adult life is spent on their own, with small groups of other adult males as they're migrating and traveling through different savannas. Now we are getting ready to pass through some red clay pits, so hopefully we can spot a few more elephants along the way. African elephants will actually eat the clay here in the red clay pits to get some added vitamins and minerals into their diet, and it also helps with their digestion. Unfortunately, today, many humans are mining in and around the red clay pits for a metal called coltan. Now, coltan can be found in the majority of our electronics, like computers, TVs, cell phones, even quite a few cameras that are being made today. With that in mind, next time you upgrade your phone, you get a new computer or a camera, try to recycle or turn in your old electronics. The coltan can be reused in several devices after it's been recycled, and turning in our old electronics is something that has become fairly easy to do. We can do it from home, and does help protect both the elephants and the mandrill's habitats. Kind of tucked to your left,
that's the Baobab Tree.
There, by the rocks are two African elephants back there. Now they are getting ready to start sparring, which is just them playing their siblings. So that's how they kind of establish dominance between each other. All the elephants that we have seen so far, though, have tusks. Now both male and female African elephants have tusks, and they'll actually use them to attempt to bore holes into the trunks of the baobab trees over here in the savannah. They want to get some of the water stored within the trees. That's sometimes why baobab trees are referred to as a tree of life. But more importantly, that's why other animals actually follow elephant herd migrations, because they are very good at finding viable water sources. Now African elephants also have a dominant tusk, just like we have a dominant hand or a dominant foot. Now the African elephants will use a dominant tusk to bore the holes into the trunks of the baobab trees, or that's the tusk they will primarily use when they are sparring with other elephants within a herd, whether to establish dominance or to just play with their siblings like those two elephants were back there. Now down there to whole flamboyance of greater flamingo. The greater flamingo are the tallest flamingo, typically reaching heights of about 4 to 5 feet tall. Now, flamingos are known for their pink color, but when they hatch, they are more of a grayish white color. So those gray and white feathered flamingos down there are babies, and those babies are starting to get their adult feathers. Very soon, they will be able to turn that iconic pink color with a diet consisting of beta-carotene. Now, beta-carotene can be found in many crustaceans, but the greater flamingo prefer brine shrimp and krill. Now, these mud pits all throughout the reserve are usually pretty good spots to find some rhinos, at least during the hotter parts of the day. Rhinos will wallow around in the mud, and not only to cool off, but they have very sensitive skin. So actually use the mud kind of like a sunscreen and coat their whole bodies. Elephants will do something very similar. They will throw dirt and sand and even hay or tall grasses onto the tops of their heads and their backs to help protect their skin from the sun as well. Coming up on your left-hand side, the side of this hilltop, I see at least one cheetah up there. Now, cheetahs are actually the world's fastest land mammal, so they can go 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 3 seconds. Now, they can only maintain that top speed for 200 to 300 meters, so think a football field or 2 long at the very most. Cheetahs are actually diurnal animals, which means that they're most active during the day, or most of their activities take place during the day, and that does include hunting. Cheetahs are one of the only big cats to actively hunt during the daytime hours. Now, cheetahs are known for their beautiful spotted coats that help them to camouflage, but they also have thick black lines that go underneath of their eyes, down the center of their face to their noses, and that is used to reflect the sun as they hunt and stalk their prey. If you've ever seen any athletes like football players or baseball players that wear the eye black underneath their eyes, that's used to reflect the sun, so it's the exact same concept, just the cheetahs are born with it.
Athletes just need to look cool. Oh, nice. That one's much cooler.
That one's like, I'm out of here. I know pictures. Let's get a picture.
Large rock formation called a kopje. Now, at the top of this kopje, I do see a female lion up there already. Now, the female lions typically don't have any fur or hair surrounding their faces at all, while the male lions are known for their big, beautiful manes. That is the easiest way to tell the difference between an adult male and an adult female lion. Now, lions do typically rest about 16 to 20 hours a day. They're actually nocturnal animals, so most of their activity takes place at night, and that does include hunting. Now, the female lions will do the majority of the hunting for the pride. Depending on the size of the pride, they'll do about 85 to 95% of the hunting on their own, while the male lions typically stay back here at the kopje to help protect the rest of the pride, especially if there are any young cubs present at the time. As we're coming around the front of this kopje, I see another female lion, and then it looks like the male lion's all the way on the other side. It's back. I love it. Now, the kopje itself, which again is this big rock formation, does provide a really great vantage point to not only your prey, but also look out for other predators or intruders that may be coming into the lion's territory. As we're coming around to the back of this kopje, you guys can see that big, beautiful male lion up there with his luscious mane. And then hopefully you guys can also catch a glimpse of that female lion's pretty little face up there as well. Now, to your left, kind of tucked underneath of this far tree at the corner. There's some big hairy rocks at the base of that tree. Those are warthogs. Now warthogs typically go into these burrows down here backwards with their tusks facing out to help protect them against predators while they are resting. But my favorite fact about the warthog is when they run their top speed, which is like 35 miles per hour, they run their tail sticking straight up into the air and it waves around like a little flagpole. Over to your right, there's a very cute little dark brown animal with horns laying down. That is the baaa-ack. And then closer to the front of the truck, at the base of that tree line back there, is a small crash of white rhinos. Now, that cute little baaa-ack back there is actually one of the only relatives of the wildebeest and was almost completely extinct at one point. The baaa-ack were originally poached for their coats, which can turn kind of a purple color in the sunlight. In the early 1900s, some very kind farmers gathered up the remaining 17 baaa-ack, brought them to their farms, and built a fence around them to help protect them. Luckily for us, the baaa-ack don't know how to jump, so they stayed within that fence. And thanks to additional conservation efforts of the past couple hundred years, the baaa-ack population has been able to grow up to a couple 100,000, but they are still endangered in the wild. Now, those white rhinos that I pointed out can actually get up to about 5,000 pounds or more each. So they don't have any natural predators. They don't have any predators in the wild, which does unfortunately mean that humans are their only threats. Now, humans will poach the white rhinos for their horns, and their horns are made out of keratin. Keratin is the same protein that helps make our hair and our fingernails. And the word white or white rhino has nothing to do with their color, but is a mispronounced Afrikaans word of wide, meaning wide, referring to their wide upper lips. We are making our way back up to Harambee Village. Even though our safari is coming to an end, there are still plenty of animals to be able to visit throughout the park today. I do recommend checking out the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail at some point. It is a self-guided trail. Not only are there some beautiful waterfalls and gorillas, but there's some meerkats. And for page number 15 of our Wilderness Explorer guidebook, the truck you are riding is Simba 1. Now, Gorilla Falls will close this evening around 4:30 p.m. At 5 p.m., our last truck here at Kilimanjaro Safari will take its final trip around the reserve. So just keep in mind that both Gorilla Falls and Kilimanjaro Safaris will be closing before animal visits this evening. Alright, friends. We are just going to wait for this next open dock, and then we will head up there. Y'all will make your way out to Harambee Village. Just please make sure that your face coverings are on over your nose, under your chin, covering your mouth, and that you have all of your personal belongings before exiting the truck. It can be quite the hefty trek all the way back here to Africa. So double check those rows, double check your pockets, and double check your hands for your loved ones before you exit the truck. Now, my friends on the right hand side, watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs. The doors are sliding open. Have a wild time out there, guys. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, so we just rode Kilimanjaro Safari, guys, and what'd you guys think?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, we
fun.
love the safari so much. I mean, it's just amazing to see all of these incredible animals so close.
It is.
Last time too, we got a great tip from a cast member. She said the earlier you ride it, the better chance you have of seeing all the animals out.
Yeah.
So we try to hit it. We try to hit it first thing in the morning. So that's a pro tip for you.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw a lot this morning. I'm always thrilled to see the lines. I think they're wonderful, and a lot of times they're vocalizing there.
I spotted that big light that they hid it as a tree from the from the Animal Kingdom show on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Was it The Magic of Animal Kingdom? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
It comes on Friday nights on Disney Plus, and it's so cool to watch that show and then come here.
And what section was that in? That was in the elephant section. In the elephant.
Yeah, so we saw those two elephants that were like kind of facing each other, playing around.
Yeah.
It was that tree that was right up next to the side.
They had to add it. Imagineers had to work with this ride to add it for the rides when it gets dark outside, so that you can
Add a
still
little
see
light.
the elephants.
They started doing the safari at night,
Yeah.
and so they camouflage that light as a palm tree, as a tree.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we love the safari so
It's
much.
super cool to watch that show and then ride this ride and notice everything that you saw in the show.
Oh yeah, it's great.
The last time we did that, the guy told us the names of the animals. I wish he would have told us the names. It is on the show, but I...
For the health and safety of everyone, face coverings must fully cover your nose and mouth and be worn at all times, except when actively eating or drinking while stationary. Guests that do not comply will be asked to leave. Wash your hands often and thoroughly. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing, and maintain your physical distance. Thank you for your cooperation.
And they have lots of different pins here today, from Toy Story to lots of Toy Story here. Pixar pins from there's some Star Wars down here. This is a cool set right here. That's a really nice set. The 3 pins in the set. Some cool neat ones. Baby 8 there, the Force. Even the Oga's Cantina. This is the Oga's Cantina. The coasters from Oga's Cantina. Got some Nightmare Before Christmas holdovers. Some good pins here, guys. And then way up. And some more from Animal Kingdom, Kilimanjaro Safaris. Nice. So guys, just kind of walking through the park here after riding Kilimanjaro Safari. Always great. I think we're gonna go do It's Tough to Be a Bug, and we're gonna eat at Satu'li Canteen today and get that great peppermint mousse dessert that they have afterwards. We have that to look forward to. Creature Comforts on your right here. Starbucks coffee location here in Animal Kingdom. As we head into It's Tough to Be a Bug, kind of going under and around the Tree of Life, and there are carvings everywhere to enjoy this tree. It really is pretty amazing. Full of great carvings. I forget how many, the number 325 stands out in my mind for some reason. But the tree is definitely a work of art. Shout out to my brother-in-law Jerry for his welding crew and supervising the welding on the frame for the Tree of Life.
325.
Yeah, I was right. 325.
45 feet tall.
325 carvings at the base of the Tree of Life, or all over the Tree of Life.
April 22nd, 1998. We'll do a quick search.
Okay. Okay, we're entering Pandora, and this land is utterly and completely incredible. Floating mountains. We got a magic shot. We're gonna go eat at Satu'li Canteen. They have a new dessert there for Christmas. Instead of their usual little blueberry mousse, they are supposed to have a peppermint for Christmas. And they do have a new chocolate on the menu. So we're gonna have one of those great bowls and maybe try the desserts. And maybe all three. Okay, we're headed into Satu'li now for a wonderful lunch. Guys, if you've never been to Satu'li for lunch, it is fantastic. Hi!
Do you have a mobile order that's ready with us today?
We do. There seem to be plenty of tables, so it's nice and cool in here, guys, too.
Let's do it.
Okay, not sure where they went. I know I saw them come in. Pretty. Yeah, that is gorgeous. Oh, look at that. And the blue, that's sort of like a frosting, is more of a gel. I don't know what they call that, but the inside, look at the inside, guys, how pretty that is. It's a little piece of meringue. And then that beautiful inside. Let's eat.
Alright. Let's see here. Try to get some of all of it.
Yeah, over there and everything.
It's a great combination of flavors. And it just tastes amazing.
If you like dark chocolate, it's more of a rich chocolate. I have not tried this on top, so let me go ahead, give that a little try, see what it tastes like. Okay.
It was phenomenal, as usual. Highly recommend it. So 3 thumbs up.
Yeah, Julian too.
3 thumbs up from the Hitchhiking Bones. And we're currently in the line queue for Flight of Passage. Floating mountains of Pandora. Pretty good engineering feat on their own. And at night, guys, this is just really beautiful. All this is lit. Pandora at night is really amazing. We have to leave a little early today, so we won't be here at night. The park is open until 8 p.m. I believe tonight. They've given us some extended hours as we get near the holidays, but we won't quite be able to stay that long. But we are glad that we got to come. It's been just a wonderful, wonderful vacation. And it's nice to end it up here at Animal Kingdom. It's a beautiful park. A little more laid back park because you're not rushing from ride to ride. And we always try to take a little time in Animal Kingdom to really enjoy the ambiance of this park because it is really gorgeous. This is the queue line, of course, for Pandora. Really fascinating. And here is this incredible animatronic. Just amazing. Really amazing animatronic. So this is the gift shop. Just rode Flight of Passage. Amazing as usual. And this gift shop is pretty cool. They have some things that you cannot get in other areas of the park. Really cool pins. And merch, toys, things of that nature. The kids, all of it is pretty cool. You can even get your own econ. It's a pretty cool gift shop. If you want to hang around and really love Pandora, you can get some Really neat merch. Hey. Okay, so what do you guys think? Always good, right?
Always a good one.
Oh, yeah, it's
Always good.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
You have to wait an hour and a half in line. I guess that's the right to do it on.
Yeah, it was an hour and 15. The animators experience. So pretty cool. This train is really neat.
Baobab Express now arriving at this platform.
To depart the station. Headed to Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. In just a few moments, the Wildlife Express train will be making its way over to Rafiki's Planet Watch, our one and only stop. We will have to exit the train and explore what we have at Rafiki's, which is the Animal Science Center, the Affection section, and the Animation class. If you're becoming a wilderness explorer, there are 5 badges over at Rafiki's. Thank you once again for joining us, and while aboard the Wildlife Express, we do ask that you please keep your face coverings up above your nose and below your chin, and please no eating or drinking. We are on our way. Thank you for joining us.
Greetings, friends, and welcome aboard the Wildlife Express. For a safe journey, remember to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Sit all the way back against the bench, and please be sure to watch your children. Asante.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Wildlife Express. Para que tengan un viaje seguro, manténganse sentados, con las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Siéntense hasta atrás, pegados al respaldo de la banca. Y por favor, miren a los niños.
Welcome aboard the Wildlife Express with service to Rafiki's Planet Watch. Here, you'll discover a wide range of animal adventures from the affection section, where you can get up close and personal with domesticated animals like goats, sheep, and more, to sneak peeks at animal care in action at our veterinary, nutrition, and science centers. Also, be sure to check out the animation experience at Conservation Station, where you can learn to draw your favorite Disney characters inspired by live animals from one of our animators. Shaped his legacy from animation to conservation to the very adventures we offer here at Disney's Animal Kingdom each and every day. As we make our way to Rafiki's Planet Watch, keep an eye out for some of the exciting wildlife we might encounter along the way and the highly trained specialists who care for them. From ostriches and rhinos to the mighty African elephant, the species we care for here at Disney's Animal Kingdom are some of the very same animals that inspired animated classics like The Lion King, The Jungle Book, and more. Did you know Canteen was the first animated feature to bring live animals into the studio? Computer animation. This tradition continues today as animators travel throughout the world to observe animals in their own surroundings. And that includes here at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
We are now approaching Conservation Station at Rafiki's Planet. For your safety and the safety of those around you, please sit all the way back against the bench and avoid leaning out toward the road.
Seated until the
African
train
elephant
comes to a
building,
stop.
number 14.
And please be sure to watch your shoulder as you exit. Go well and explore.
Hughes stock barn down there.
Jumbo friends, and thank you for joining us here today on this beautiful day. When the train comes to a stop, a cast member will open the doors for you, and we will all be exiting in the center of the platform. As we're exiting in the center, please keep physical distance between your party and others. Take advantage of the hand sanitizing stations located just off the platform, and remember to wash your hands frequently throughout your visit here today.
Jumbo.
We found that a great way to end our day at Animal Kingdom is a train ride to Rafiki's Planet Watch with a visit to the animator's experience. A Disney animator actually walks you through drawing a Disney character. It's a lot of fun.
Kevin.
Oh, is Kevin out? Aw.
Relative Kevin.
Oh. Oh.
It really was an exceptional day, with warm sunshine and that nice breeze blowing through the trees. But I've come to expect great adventures here. It's a special park, and there's no other place on earth quite like it. We're already looking forward to our next journey together into this incredible land, Disney's Animal Kingdom. I had an especially magical birthday. It was my first time to celebrate at Walt Disney World. I love to travel, so this was the perfect gift. Thanks to my husband Jeff. Thanks also to William and Jillian for joining me, and to all of my friends who celebrated with me. It was a very special week. And before we knew it, it was time to go. But we always leave Disney with the expectation of returning because we love it and we're always drawn back to the magic. Asante Sana for joining us today on our Animal Kingdom adventure. And kwaheri, or go well. Coming in for landing over Dallas, Texas, y'all, and home sweet home. It is always a gorgeous view. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe, and come hang out with us on social media. We're the Hitchhiking Bones, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. There's always room for one more, so hurry back.